Hey y'all, this video is going to be about personal knowledge management, building that digital second brain. And what I wanted to do is kind of give you a quick view of my daily habit. And I've created this template, which every day makes it easy for me to start. As soon as I open my phone, open my computer, open Obsidian, I get a new note for that day. And what it makes a difference for me because it gives a little bit of structure. And so there's some habits I go through. And one of them is I will pop open Readwise and look at 5 reminders. So that random surfacing of old content ends up being like really powerful for me. And it really helps with long-term retention. It's sort of remember when you used to do flashcards to do spaced repetition? It's a form of spaced repetition. And so it only takes a few minutes, and every day I get 5 or 6 quotes. And when I find one that really resonates, I post it into my note for that day. And sometimes that note may branch into what was the context, and I'll go do a little bit more research to resurface, because knowing something for me is all about connecting it. When it's associated with things I already know, it's way easier to remember. Like, this is one of the reasons remembering somebody's name is so hard. It's an arbitrary fact. It's not connected to anything else. People could be named almost anything, and sometimes are. So to make things easier to remember, if they're associated or connected with things you already know and they fit a framework, it's easier to recall them. And spaced repetition gives you an opportunity to remember that. I have a place for notes of the day when I'm on calls. I could drop that in there, but I use the tasks plugin, and it lets me drop in things I want to make sure I get done that day. And I can schedule things for a day. And then I use a couple quick reports to sort my tasks into what I have to get done today, what I'd like to get done today. And then I have my habits. I read some daily devotionals. There's my Readwise review. I've got a goal this year to read the Bible, the whole thing in a year. So I chip away at it a little every day. Highly recommend Our Daily Bread. Great resource for that. I do some journaling, and I try to get my exercise in. I know walking is exercise, but sometimes it's just its own thing. Now, here's a tool that I picked up from Matthew Dixon, Storyworthy. And great book, highly recommend it. And the idea is every day, it's called Homework for Life. What's a story from that day? And it could be small, it could be big, it could be huge. And so this becomes a field where I can just drop in a line. Or one of the things similar to this is what's interesting about Marcus Aurelius's meditations is that he was writing to himself. He was writing advice to himself. A friend of mine said this: never listen to yourself, but talk to yourself. The idea is put the little itty bitty shitty committee off to the side, tell the judge, thank you, take a break. Don't need the self-criticism. What are the things I want to remind myself of? Sort of that amazing commercial that has said, not what's wrong with me, what's strong with me. Well, this is a way to sit down and be intentional about how to build momentum in your life. And so these are 2 things I picked up from other areas, and it's a way for me to put them into practice. The other thing is I love seeing what I got completed for the day. And my last little bit here tends to be when on my phone or the Mac, it's like share something and I want to share it to Obsidian. It's always going to stick it at the bottom of the note. So I just put it a place to where an image, a picture, a link can get stuck at the bottom of the document and I don't have to worry about it. Now, one of the other things that I do in all my templates is they are linked. There's a link to the day that note was created. So on that day, it's easier for me to go back. Let's take a look at yesterday. Fully filled out. I've got a bunch of notes on some research I was doing, some things to get done. You can see I got some tasks done, but you can see how many notes were created that day. And there's something about our ability to remember things in time. Like, when did that happen? So I want lots of ways to get back to a note. So I find this tool, this daily note, to be the centerpiece of building a digital management system, because it's the inbox of a day. It's sort of that snapshot of the information I aggregate. And from there, it allows me to branch out into any of the other things. And yes, I've got some health related things here, like doing push-ups and air squats. And boy, I do need to lose some weight. But that's just all part of day-to-day living, is you're managing not only the things you want to do, but the unplanned things that come your way. And so this becomes my number one tool for sort of wrangling the chaos and putting some kind of order around it. And at the end of the day, reminding myself I was productive, I was effective, that was a good day. And as the saying goes, if you want to live a good life, it starts with having good days. Put enough good days together, you have some good weeks. Enough good weeks, you have a few months. Enough good months, you have good years. You put a bunch of good years together, you've had a good life.